Hey everybody, this message is really for all you American citizens out there of the United States. Go vote. I'm putting this video out. You've got 2 days left. If you haven't done it yet, go get it done. Vote. I don't care who you vote for or how you vote. If you think it's gonna piss me off or nullify my vote or your vote, who cares? Go vote. All right? God bless America and God bless you. Take care. Well, for this week's project, I'm going to take my old 17-foot canoe and upgrade it with some nice new seats and maybe a little bit more flotation and make this thing a little more usable, so when Charles goes out next time with me, he doesn't have to borrow somebody's little teeny weeny canoe. He can actually drive a man's boat. That's right, he'll be in a man's boat, a big canoe. Maybe I'll be in the big canoe and he'll be in the little one. Thank you, Mr. Diesel Charger. Appreciate those Dodge drivers. You know that? I don't know what it is. Why do they have to have such a loud exhaust? But anyway, here we go. Gotta get it going. Probably going to reuse all this hardware, so don't want to lose it. But now they got the seats out, start doing my figuring and measuring for my new seats. Those of you who follow my channel probably saw the last video, well, not the last video, but a video I made a while back on a canoe seat that I made for my Discovery 119. Now that canoe seat was a little more elaborate, a little more in depth. It had hinges in it. The backrest was hand carved. This one here is a little more quick and dirty, if you will. A little more rough construction. I still went ahead and used the router and smoothed it all out, make it nice to the touch and all. But this seat's made out of straight up 2x2 from the hardware store. No oak, no pine, nothing, just straight up pine rather. Crude construction, but really effective, and I don't think it came out too bad. You be the judge. So if you're wondering, I'm cutting these at 15 degrees. That seems to be a real comfortable angle for me. You know, kind of makes it nice, you know, on the back, so to speak. You know, and then I'm just kind of routering off the edges here, making sure that the part that I'm putting my butte on is nice and smooth. And then I've got these little rubber feet in there that are going to be the front legs, so to speak, of the seat. So I'm just putting it in here, trying to get the sizing and everything correct so I can go ahead and mount that. And before I do that, I'm going to cover it all with this. There's those times when you just get into your work and you forget that you leave the camera on. This is one of those times. I only sped it up because I didn't want to get in trouble for copyright infringement on the song that's playing. But, you know, hey, sometimes you just get into your work and forget the camera's on. Just keeping it real. Here it is, all covered in boiled linseed oil. You can see now from the framing, it's real simple here. If you're going to build one of these, just make sure you leave a good gap down in the middle so you can run your strapping. And that's what I'm doing here. You can see in my other video more detailed on how I do this, but basically here I'm just preparing all my straps for all the up and downs. This way I can just get it all done quick. I'm using stainless steel staples here to make sure it all doesn't ever rust and destroy my seatbelt material, which is really great stuff. You know, I've been running it for a full season now on my other canoe, and I'm shocked to find that it didn't even stretch any at all. I still have got a nice tight fit on my canoe. So, you know, that's why I use the stuff again. In fact, this time I didn't wrap it as tight as I did the last time because it could be a little hard on the bum after a while. So having a little bit of a sag in that gives you a little bit of more of a hammock feel, I guess you'd say. So I still wrapped it semi-tight, but not near as tight as I did the last one. But as you can see, just weaving it all together and putting it together. If you want to see more detail, watch my other video.
America! You know, if you travel around this country, you'll notice that it ain't all this and it ain't all that. But it is a little bit of everything. All kinds of places and all kinds of people together. We're all equal. Right now, we the people. Now is the time we do no see no evil. It's just blue sky. The winds blow and the birds fly. In formation, one nation under God. Whether it's affliction, Louis Vuitton, the pricey true religion or straight up camouflage. From the hood to the city, way out in the sticks, the whole world's only got one country like this. What color are you? Me, I'm red, white, blue. America, throw your hands up. The dream is coming true. Say what we like, go anywhere we want. We can love who we want and avoid who we don't. We can pray every day, get mad and fight, raise hell and protest to defend our right. Vote for the underdog and still be alright. When they lose, we still win, pursue happiness in life. Start from the ground and build it up on your own. Another reason to be proud is land's my home. What color are you? Me, I'm red, white, blue.
I lost my footage on the filming of my front yoke here. Kind of sucks. It's just a 2x4. I routed it out, drilled a hole in there for a fishing pole. I also didn't film the installation of those tie down points either. There's another video that really gives the detail on how I did that. This is another fort that I just made, and this is just a piece of 2x2 that's been routed out 3/4 on the sides and put in there. Piece of cake. All right, notice those front supports. That'll stop vibration when I'm driving down the road and help things stay together. Then, I also added up these little front cleats here. Those are for my anchor system because I plan on doing some big fishing out of this canoe. And then I added these other tie down here. That's really for my tow ropes and my anchor lines and whatnot that I could stick through there, my bow line, my throw bag. Here's what I'm using for floats. They were all out of the pizza shaped kind. So I just went with this, and I'm just stuffing it here in this burlap sack just to give it some abrasion protection. I'm going to get this line out of the way. This is actually what I designed this to do. So I'll just hold that up out of the way. But then I got this thing filled in here. I gotta admit that I did do this already on the other side first. So I know how this needs to go in there and line up. It was a little bit of a challenge to figure it out. And I think I'd go with a different shape of object. I think I'd go with a pineapple. There's actually a pineapple that was a big round pineapple, or even a really big beach ball would probably be better. And I think I'm probably going to end up buying the bigger beach ball instead, because it'll end up being more of a conformed shape in there and not having to deal with all this extra material. When I originally bought these, I bought them thinking they were a lot smaller than they are, but they're actually quite large. But they'll do the job. And as you can see, I just took 550 paracord here and did a little weave on there. Any of you who ever worked in the construction trades and know how to put away a contractor style braid on an extension cord, that's basically all that is just a good old contractor braid, just to give it a little bit more thickness around so it doesn't kind of bind and bite on things. But just fill it up with air here, and I did kind of overfill it the first time here. This is because there's a lot of cracks and creases, and I know that air is going to kind of find its way through. I'm going to have to add some more air later, but we'll see. I'll have to give this thing a good valid test and flip it over and see if they actually hold it up, because I'll tell you right now, this is one heavy canoe. It's a beast. It was already heavy before. I think this canoe weighs in at like 89 pounds from the factory, and with all the upgrades I've done with the seats here, I've added a good 30-40 pounds easy altogether. So you're probably looking at 110 120 pound canoe here. But I'm a big guy and I'll be able to lift it for a little while, but really it's a tandem canoe, so you should have a friend with you. And I do have a solo canoe, so I won't be soloing this canoe much. I probably will here in my next video, just because I want to take it out and test it before I tell somebody, yeah, try out my canoe, man, you're going to like it. And then have them follow along with me in my solo and then them have issues. So I'm going to go check it all out and see how it works. And that'll be a different video.
We're all equal. Right now, we the people. Now is the time. We do no see no evil. It's just blue sky. The winds blow and the birds fly. In formation, one nation under God. Where there is affliction, Louis Vuitton. The pricey true religion is straight up camouflage. From the hood to the city, way out in the sticks. The whole world's only got one country like this. What color are you? Me, I'm red, white, blue. America, throw your hands up, hands up. The dream is coming true. Say what we like, go anywhere we want. We can love who we want and avoid who we don't. We can pray every day, get mad and fight, raise hell and protest to defend our rights. Vote for the underdog and still be alright. When they lose, we still win, pursue happiness in life.
I must admit, this is disappointing, but I didn't spare any pull on this. I yanked on it, wanted it to fail here rather than the water. But really, it's just too cold to put these on right now. It's the manufacturer says to keep it warm. It's dropping down below 40 when I put this on. I'm really surprised the other three held. So I'm actually not going to fix this until I got evenings that aren't dropping down below 45 degrees. This way it has a plenty of time to cure, but here it is, all sexy and done. I didn't mention either, I did put on these little side tie downs like I did with my other boat, along with my center fort there. There's another cleat there as well as in the front. As you can see, there's loops that come down with a hose that's on there, so you can hook things underneath and be able to paddle and not have to worry about it. And that's how the rear float is supposed to look. Thank you for watching. God bless.